Have you ever wondered how far a parent would go to save their child's life? Would you fight the system, break the law, or even risk everything you have, your freedom, your future, and your reputation, just for one more chance to see them live? Today, we're diving into a gripping story that shows just how far love and desperation can push a man when the world turns its back on him. It begins on a winding mountain road. A woman follows closely behind a massive truck, honking impatiently as the slow-moving giant blocks her path. Finally fed up, she swerves into the other lane to pass it, only to realize too late that another truck is speeding toward her head-on. The impact is devastating. Her car is caught in a horrifying collision, crushed between the two machines. Back in the suburbs, John and his wife Denise are in bed, the television glowing in the dark. It's late, calm, ordinary. But suddenly, John hears a noise outside. He rushes to the window and his heart sinks. A tow truck is outside, seizing Denise's car. Their payments are overdue. John rushes out, begging, arguing, insisting that he'll catch up. But his words fall on deaf ears. The bank doesn't care about promises. The car is repossessed, and John can do nothing but watch it vanish into the night. The next morning, the air at breakfast is heavy with tension. Denise wants answers. John swears he spoke to the bank, but that was months ago. His hours at the factory have been slashed, the bills are piling up, and every door he tries to open for extra work seems to slam shut in his face. He insists he's trying, but it isn't enough. Denise, frustrated and scared, pushes him to do something, anything. Even in the middle of their struggles, John tries to hold on to small moments with his son, Mike. On the drive to school, Mike insists on their ritual. No goodbyes. That word feels too final. Instead, he prefers something lighter, something hopeful. See you later. After a grueling day at the factory, John joins his buddy Jimmy for an interview at a prestigious company. The manager seems impressed by John's background, his years of dedication, his skill, his reliability. For a moment, John dares to hope. But just as Jimmy predicted, the rejection is swift and cruel. John is overqualified. Translation? The position was never really open to men like him. It's reserved for relatives, for insiders, for people with connections. That Sunday, for once, life feels normal. The family heads to Mike's baseball game. The crowd cheers, Denise claps proudly, John beams with joy. But suddenly, in the middle of the game, Mike stumbles. His face pales, and then he collapses. Panic erupts. John and Denise rush to their son's side, their voices frantic as they call his name. He doesn't respond. Within minutes, he's rushed to the hospital, hooked up to oxygen, doctors swarming around him. Denise is inconsolable, demanding answers, but John forces himself to stay calm, desperate to understand what's happening. The truth is brutal. Mike's heart is failing. The X-rays reveal the devastating reality. His heart is 3 times larger than it should be. A condition left unnoticed for years has finally caught up with him. His only chance of survival is a heart transplant. Medication might buy him time, but not much. Without a transplant, Mike only has weeks to live, maybe days. John doesn't hesitate. He wants his son on the transplant list immediately. But before the doctors can act, the hospital director steps in with cold, unflinching rules. The cost? $250,000. And before Mike's name can even be considered for the list, they'll need a 30% down payment, $75,000 upfront. John's insurance? Worthless. The company had quietly switched to a cheaper plan, stripping part-time workers like John of meaningful coverage. Denise's job offers no benefits, and with no savings, no house, no investments, the couple has nothing to leverage. The director offers them a choice: prepare to pay or accept the reality that their son's final days are approaching. John and Denise begin a frantic race against time. They go from office to office, department to department, filling out endless forms only to be told they don't qualify. They aren't poor enough. They aren't eligible. Appeals, grievances, Medicaid, state services, Every system rejects them. John sells everything he can: his car, his possessions, even his wedding ring. Neighbors take advantage of their desperation, offering pennies for items worth far more. Friends pitch in what they can, but it's never enough. With every day that passes, Mike grows weaker. Jimmy suggests going to the news. Maybe if their story goes public, someone will help. John tries. A reporter listens, sympathetic, but needs higher approval before airing the story. Time runs out. The final straw comes when John learns the hospital plans to release Mike. He's out of money, out of time, and his son is being sent home to die. Denise breaks down, screaming at him to do something, and John does. Pushed to the edge, he takes a desperate gamble. He storms the hospital, confronting Dr. Turner, the heart surgeon. When Turner refuses to help, John pulls out a gun. Shockwaves ripple through the ward as he forces the doctor into compliance. John seals off exits, chains doors, and takes control of the emergency room. Chaos erupts. Patients panic, staff scatter, and the police are called within minutes. But John isn't looking for blood. He isn't looking for money. He only wants one thing: his son's life. As the standoff unfolds, John demands one thing from the negotiators outside: put Mike on the transplant list. The police, led by Lieutenant Frank, try to talk him down. But John knows the system too well now. He doesn't trust their promises. Inside, tensions rise. Patients need care, and John insists the doctors treat them. A man arrives with a gunshot wound, and when Turner hesitates, John forces him to operate. A pregnant woman goes into distress, and John allows her to be released along with her husband. Among the hostages, stories emerge, some heartbreaking, some deceitful. One man pretends he and his girlfriend were in an accident, but the truth comes out: he's an abuser. His girlfriend, emboldened by the chaos, finally fights back, breaking free from his control. Meanwhile, outside, the media catches wind of the standoff. Crowds gather, reporters broadcast live, and the public begins to rally behind John. His story spreads: a father driven to extremes by a broken healthcare system. People don't see a criminal. They see a man fighting for his child's life. Inside the hospital, hours drag on. John grows weaker, bleeding from a stab wound after one of the hostages turned on him. But he stays focused. He talks to the patients, comforts them, and shares his story. He admits that his gun was never loaded. He never intended to hurt anyone. As pressure mounts, John makes the ultimate decision. If no donor is found, he'll end his own life and give Mike his heart. Desperate, emotional, he writes his will and prepares to sacrifice himself. But fate intervenes. Remember that horrific car crash on the mountain road? The woman inside didn't survive, and her blood type is a match. As surgeons prepare for the transplant, John finally sees his son. He whispers words only a father could say, reminding him to be strong, to be kind, to live a good life. He promises it isn't goodbye, just see you later. The heart arrives. Mike is wheeled into surgery. The operation begins. Hours later, the doctors emerge with the news. It's a success. Mike has a future. John, however, doesn't walk free. He surrenders peacefully, arrested as the world watches. But he doesn't walk out in shame. Outside, crowds cheer for him, chanting his name, calling him a hero. Months later, the trial concludes. John is found guilty on some charges, but spared the harshest penalties. With good behavior, he'll serve only a few years. As he says his goodbyes, John hugs Denise tightly. Then he kneels before his son. Mike whispers, "Goodbye, Dad." But John shakes his head with a smile. "No, son. See you later." And as he's led away in handcuffs, the message echoes beyond one family's tragedy. A broken system pushed a man to the edge, but it also proved just how powerful a father's love can be.